This is your boy JG. Let's go. I got in a little bit late. The Anderson fight, he was getting clipped up early. Then he started doing his thing. He looks good though. He looks in shape because you want to see a guy get hurt up a little bit, but he looks good. But you can't play games. Let me turn this shit down. You getting blasted with shots in between shots is gonna be problematic for you. Now looking at my man in the corner, he probably concussed up because he got hit a lot in the first round. His tongue, though. What am I looking at his tongue? Shit's weird. Shout out to Alyssa. Let's go. We all know what the deal is, though. This evening, a lot of boxing going on. Teofimo Lopez is the main event in this bout against Sandor Martin. That's the main event ESPN card. This is a free card. As we also know, Bud Crawford is taking on David Avanesian. No one asked for that. It's on pay-per-view. Christina Cyborg. Forrest is getting socked up now. Jared Anderson has done an effective job of reestablishing range, but he can't get over aggressive because the left hook of Forrest has hurt him twice in this fight. And these dudes are big dudes, and you can get caught slipping and get knocked out. Shout out to you. But like I was saying before, I won't be watching the Bud Crawford fight. And that's for good reason. Because you can't get on TV and say, pay-per-view is not important, no one buys it anyway, and then charge $40 for people to watch you fight David Avanesian. David, I've been sleeping. Nah, that's not it. Shout out to you guys, though. Anderson landed right hand after right hand after right hand. I think Forrest blew his wad in the first round. He still has heavy hands, but at this point, Anderson is really kind of controlling range. The jab of the body is really paying dividends. Shout out to Teddy Atlas, putting water in the basement. Forrest is not throwing as much anymore. He's pretty much a heavy bag at this point. I can't see this. The fight's over. There you go. That one's over. So shout out to Anderson. He gets it done inside 2 rounds. Got hurt, got wobbled. We got to see him be composed, do his thing, come back, and figure out a way to get it done. So shout out to him. That's funny, though. My man's gas tank was just empty, and he got socked up. In the meantime, this card is stacked. They have Xander Zayas on here, and for my money, he's next up. Shout out to Xander. Young dude, good looking, pause, uber talented. If ESPN does their thing, they market him correctly, he could be a big star for that organization. I just think they've struggled to do that for, really any fighter. Grow him, market him, let him blow up, be a pay-per-view star. Xander Zayas is it. He has all the skills, the ability, turns defense into offense, looks good doing it. And then they have my man Keyshawn Davis, U.S. Olympian. We know he's a stablemate of Bud Crawford. He's also fighting on this card, which also makes it easy for somebody like me to not check for Christina Cyborg versus, a chick I don't know, and then Avanesian and Crawford. And shout out to them. They're doing the best they can. You see the backdrop that I have up. We got to say no to Crawford, and we got to say no to bad fights in general, especially when it's super contradictory. Oh, buy my fight. This is going to be popping, but pay-per-view doesn't matter, and you fighting guys that nobody knows about. That can't be it. That cannot be it. But it was good to see Anderson get in trouble, recover, do his thing, and make it happen. I'm hungry. I need to get a bite to eat. But shout out to ESPN. They did a good job with this card. It was probably on purpose. They was probably hating. They said, you know what, Bud Crawford? We about to hate on you, G. It's just hard to compete. And shout out to BOK Prime too as well. A startup's going to have some struggles naturally, but some of the late game information that was coming out about how the card got set up, what they were looking like moving forward was questionable. See my man Teofimo warming up in the background, got the clean fade. He's doing his thing. Sandor Martin, I think that's a good opponent. I think it was better than what they had scheduled for him off rip. They moved to a break. But what I would say is 140 pounds, Teofimo, his last fight out, first fight at 140. He looked cool. That was a no-name guy, never fought outside of Mexico. He came there, threw punches, and got beat up and brutalized. When I think about it, Teofimo Lopez, extremely talented offensive fighter, a lot of talent, skills, and ability. He's average at best, below at worst defensively. And you can catch him slipping in the later rounds. He's an egomaniac. It gets him in trouble from time to time. See George Kambosos fight. A guy like Sandor Martin, in my opinion, is indeed upset-minded. You know, he's thinking about coming in here. Shout out to my man DH. How you doing, man? I've been slipping a little bit. I have no excuses to make. I haven't been doing the things I'm supposed to be doing, but we in the building. I wanted to cover this card. Are you double watching? Are you gonna do this one and also the Crawford joint? I'm not getting the Crawford one. I'm gonna have to catch that one on YouTube or Twitter. I'm not doing the Crawford one. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the support, man. Appreciate that. That's love. We're 10 seconds into the stream and we're already talking reckless. Hey, listen. So you know the one stream that we did the David Morrell stream, and that was a good stream. We had good numbers. We did good retention, but we talking so reckless about AB on the back half. They demonetized my video. we got too reckless. Yeah, we got too reckless. I was like, damn, that was a really good stream. We did our thing. And then I got demonetized because we dogged AB. I threw one too many F-bombs in there, but it's whatever. It was dope, though. We had a good time. I'm not tripping off that. I still got to work a real job, so it's whatever. But yeah, I think that I appreciate the comment about the fans because carry him to a milli buys. We know that's not happening. They weren't buying his fights when he was on a real network. But, you know, perhaps the situation that he's in now where he's his own boss and, you know, maybe he'll have more of a success. But leading up to this evening, there were too many questions about pay-per-view, stateside, international. David Avanesian, I think, got into the States 10 days before the bout. The whole thing was crazy. You know, shout out to Chris Cyborg. For those who don't know, mixed martial arts champion in the women's realm. Invicta, UFC, Bellator champ. Did her thing, knocked out a bunch of chicks along the way. So shout out to her. But that's the co-main for this. And for a fighter, now, we know Bud Crawford's not marketed well, but for a fighter as good as Bud Crawford, the co-main event can't be mixed martial artists fighting chicks that we don't know. That's just my opinion. No, this will be her second pro bout. She had one, it was compelling, a lot of punches got thrown, she did her thing. But if you're BOK Prime, I guess you do the best that you can do to get fighters on a card. Especially Chris Cyborg is a name in combat sports. But for Bud Crawford, I want to see the undercard be something similar to this. Keyshawn Davis is on this card, the ESPN card, right? So if you're Bud Crawford, that's a stablemate. So I think, let's go. Uncommon Curtis, yeah. And I have a lot of critical things to say about Bud Crawford, but what I won't say is he's a bad fighter. The dude can fight. He's special, in my opinion, in the ring. People can criticize his resume. I've been critical of his resume, but I've seen enough fighting. I've been in fighting. I've competed myself. He's really great. And even if he struggled to sell pay-per-view at ESPN and before that HBO, he's a guy that can fight and get the job done. The BLK setup, for me, in my opinion, I don't care about the bag, 5 million, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. But what I would say is this card setup is not a Bud Crawford setup. So that's just where I'm at with that. He said amnesia. He said he weighed on a Walgreens bathroom scale. Listen, I got a story about that. I was cutting weight for a fight, and I thought I was like 5 or 6 pounds off. But I had the $6 Walgreens scale. I was 13 pounds off when I got on the real one and had to cut weight for 2 days. I got knocked out. No, Teo's not fighting yet. We just finished up with Big Baby Anderson, the real Big Baby Anderson. He got a second round knockout, got hurt bad in the first, bounced back, did his thing, and then he got it done in the second round. He's getting his interview now. We still have to see Xander Zayas. I think we still have to see Keyshawn Davis as well. Xander's going to get it done. Keyshawn Davis might take a little longer to get it done. But then we'll have the Teofimo Lopez, Sandor Martin fight. And we should be looking good. We got to wait a little longer. It's not next basically, but we got to wait a little bit longer. He didn't get dropped, but he got buzzed real good. Like when your knees like kind of buckle a little bit, left hook, caught him on the chin strap. He got buckled real good. Am I wrong about the Xander? Am I wrong about the fights? They all fought? Oh my gosh. Yo, your boy's tripping. I was downstairs having a beverage. All right, so shout out to Teofimo Lopez. For everybody that's in here, I'm sorry that I lied. We're getting the fight next. My bad. But yeah, Jared Anderson, that was good. And then the good thing about him is he got buckled, but he had no panic in him. He recentered himself, started jabbing to the body. And I just think that my man Jerry, I think his name is Jerry, he just wasn't in shape like that. And Anderson can go 12 rounds, no problem. Damn, I really wanted to see the Xander Zayas fight. I guess I timed my stream poorly, but I wanted to see that fight. I think highly of him. Such a great question by DH. So Sandor versus Mikey. Sandor was super aggressive. Mikey looked slow. He looked out of shape, and he looked like he just got his ass beat a year before that by Errol Spence Jr. That's how he looked. I do not take anything away from Sandor Martin getting the victory against Mikey Garcia, coming off and he did an expedition against Eric Morales. I think that what really hurts Mikey Garcia is he put on so much bulk and weight to go to 47 to fight Errol, which I'm not mad at, but he wasn't going to win that fight. So if I'm game planning for Errol Spence Jr., I tell Mikey, do everything you've been doing, come in a little heavier. You fight at 140, 135, but keep your speed, keep, your footwork. But him trying to do the kangaroo jack shit, that wasn't a benefit for him. And he got destroyed. He did the expedition with Eric Morales. Then he fought Sandor Martin and lost and then retired. But I think the Errol Spence fight was pretty much it for him. I think Sandor Martin's only other loss, or he fought him, he lost to Anthony Yiggett, who got knocked out by Rolly Romero. Then he lost like hella years ago. I think that he's confident. If Teo is too talented. If he fights smart and educated, boxes, then turns it up later, he's going to win. And it's going to be sensational. If he gets emotional, he tries to get Sandor out of here, and he does cute shit, he's going to have problems, possibly lose the fight to a guy that doesn't seem to be overly intimidated by him. Shout out to Robert Garcia. And one of my favorite things about Robert Garcia, too, shout out to DH, he's extremely honest. Extremely honest. I think that was a bad fight for Mikey. Putting on the weight, all that shit was crazy. But now I'm curious. Uncommon Curtis, did you see Xander Zayas fight? Let me just look this shit up. Decision. So it looks like he got a decision victory. Shout out to him. Xander Zayas. That's interesting to me. He's not a big puncher, but he's extremely talented, highly technical, good delivery system. He does his thing. DH, do you even care about the Crawford fight from the perspective of how it turns out? I don't know if you know this or not, but he is a minus 1,600 favorite for that fight. And then, what's his name? Avanesian is plus 800. He said, nah, I'm good. I'm not mad at that. You see, I got the little bootleg, the no up there for Crawford. And I'm not necessarily protesting Crawford. I'm just saying that we don't want bad fights. I'm not interested. Who wants bad fights? Yeah, that's facts. That's crazy. I miss what's his name too. I'm gonna look up Keyshawn Davis. What did he do this evening? Oh, so he got a UD. They say he did his thing. So, they're taking a slow approach. Hey, DH, question for you. Are you listening to the broadcast team for ESPN right now? Oh, I don't know. I'm not watching that card. I don't know that. I guess I could look, but oh, you're not. Okay, cool. They're doing the little intros and shit like that. So they're gonna take some time before the main event. The reason why I was curious is because I just kind of wanted to hear. Oh, I got you. All right, I got you. Shout out to Cass getting it done. What time zone are you in? I don't want to put all your business out there, but I'm just curious. I'm on the Pacific time zone, so for me, it's 8:16 or 2016 if you're on military time. All right, cool. Shout out to San Diego. I got people out there. Shout out to my aunt. Shout out to his fam. I guess let me take a look at this Crawford card and see what they're talking about. I don't know if you saw. I saw some shit earlier this afternoon. Manny Pacquiao talking about, he's excited for an opportunity to fight Errol or Terrence Crawford. I seen Manny Pacquiao on the scale today for his bootleg fight. He'll get bodied by both of them. He should just stay away from real boxing. he said fire stick active. Let's go. Shout out to Bud Crawford. When this shit goes triple wood, the guy's gonna be mad. And I don't understand why, if I do a video and I'm like, hey, this is a bad idea for Crawford, and Cat's like, you hate Crawford. I don't hate Crawford. Nobody hates Crawford. This is a poor business making. This is a tremendous fighter. And I always say the same thing. DH already know you know this. But if you did not buy Amir Khan, Bud Crawford, then you can't talk to me about being a Crawford fan. That fight was cheeks. We knew what it was going to be. Amir Khan quit, and you didn't buy it. I bought it and watched it right in the living room, made my girl watch it and shit. Yeah, so don't talk to me about being a fan of Bud Crawford. If Errol Spence Jr., Regis Prograis, any fighter that I like does dumb shit from a boxing perspective, I'm going to be critical of that. And I think that's more than fair. Hashtag cheeks, let's go. Shit was cheeks. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get a shirt made. I'm going to put Budrick's face on it too. He's going to be mad. He probably hasn't seen any of my shit. But I've been pretty fair. I've not dogged him. Like, I've seen some channels that destroy Bud Crawford. And I haven't gone that far. I just think that this doesn't look good. And I can't see a scenario where he fights anybody. And I don't know if you saw this deal. I know, and I agree with you. And I don't know how I feel about that. And let me tell you why. I don't think this mess builds the fight more than it could have already been. I think the shit that Crawford did was already kind of shady and messy, or whatever the case may be. And the other thing is this: Crawford's position, no matter what happens this evening, does not change going into negotiations the next time around. He's not A side. He's not going to command more money. None of those things are going to happen. But to your point, Errol really is. You see the. I know you saw the shirt drop. The shirt drop that they put out today. The strap season TC shirt. Scary eyeballs behind the deal there. He put out a new shirt, a limited edition. Looks good, but it lets you know that, to your point, yeah, Errol is interested in punishing Bud Crawford and retiring him from the sport of boxing, which I think is a hell of a proposition. I'm there for all of that, but I think the way maybe, and this is me now, I have to tell on myself a little bit, being so kind of put off by how everything played out that I'm not interested in seeing that. I want to see the fight, but that shit was bullshit. And if Bud Crawford is coming with all sorts of crazy demands, you can just miss me with that because I don't believe in that. Shout out to my man Sandor Martin. He got the receding hairline like your boy. He coming out. He looked ready. Shout out to Teofimo Lopez. He got the clean fade. You know what I'm saying, with the little lightning on the side. What's that on his back though? It was like the globe or some shit. What do you think? So do you think that fight has an opportunity to happen? Because I don't see that fight happening. Now, if the money's right and he come out and knock out Avanesian, here's the thing. I actually just fucking lied a little bit. Sorry, YouTube. I said fuck. I apologize. You guys come from my videos. I get too crazy. If he knocks out Avanesian super early, the fight has a chance. If he just kind of gets by a little bit, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe all he needs to do is win, and it doesn't matter how it looks. Maybe that's all he needs to do. They just announced Tim Bradley was voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm not mad at that, but he's not a Hall of Fame commentator because he has CTE. And he has bad eyebrows. So that's where we at with it. Shout out to Tim Bradley. For those of you who just joined, we're just waiting for Sandor Martin, Teofimo Lopez to walk out. I will be calling this fight live. I do a pretty good job at that. Last time we did a fight, it was David Morrell Jr., Ido Yerbosinu Lee. Shout out to Yerbosinu Lee, out of the coma, recovering. He's doing his thing. Not sure if he'll ever fight again. I don't want to see him fight again. But stick with us. We got crazy last time, had a good time. We'll do better this time. We'll do better this time. Shout out to my man DH. My man Carter is not in here. He should have been in here. We got crazy last time with him, but it was a good time. 2022 is coming to a close. I definitely been slacking on my pimping. Today's date is the 10th. I will finish strong this year. I have a breakdown video coming for Michel Rivera, Frank Martin. I guess I'll talk a little bit about that now. For those, Bradley's best win were over Pac, Marquez. I'll put the Marquez victory over Pacquiao because it was more definitive. His biggest impact to the sport was robbing Manny. So anyway, you beat me to it. But yeah, I mean, he had the war with Ruslan Provetnikov. I don't know if that counts. That's a fight that pretty much ended his career because he got punched a lot in that fight. I think when you put yourself in a position to fight guys, I mean, he ducked some really good guys. I know that. He beat undefeated Devin Alexander when he was, and that ruined Devin Alexander's career. He didn't beat nobody after that. He might have beat some fucking bums, but oh, damn it, God. The F-bomb is what gets you demonetized. Anyway, it's interesting. I think because Bradley was a warrior and he fought Pacquiao 10 times, they gave him the nod. And one win with Marquez, that was a good solid victory because Marquez had good victories after the Bradley fight. So shout out to Marquez. I don't know. I think Khan was too soft for a style like Bradley. Bradley's all action, not good action, not like Mexican style action, but he's gonna put a lot of pressure on you. Khan will have to box perfect to get that done against Bradley, in my opinion. Like a prime Bradley versus a prime Khan. But what I would say about the International Boxing Hall of Fame is they do a good job of not giving it to just anybody. But I would agree that Tim Bradley is fringe. Like, he's not bona fide. That's fringe. And so, shout out to him. Tim Bradley was crazy. I don't know if you know this, but Tim Bradley's the type of dude he would tell his wife. He would say crazy shit to his wife like, "Hey, sweetheart, I'm gonna go fight so and so. He got like 18 knockouts in a row. When I leave this fight, I might not be the same. You might have to wipe my ass and care for our children and shit like that." Tim Bradley was fucking crazy like that. He was really, really the type of dude to be like, after this fight, I might have to wear a diaper. For real. He was crazy. He got interviews where he's telling his wife, he's got his wife's Hispanic, sweet lady, and he's telling her, "Sweetheart, I fight in 2 days. I might have to be in a bassinet when this is over." Like, he was crazy with it. That shit is real. I'm not even joking around. Tim Bradley's a crazy person. But we got to get it popping. This is one of the things, like, one, they get on here early and see these other fights, but then they take 25 minutes after the co-main to get to the main event. Shout out to Madison Square Garden. Shout out to that big-ass tree they got on the TV there. Gee, why you go at it? I'm not even repeating anything that you put in there, because you just going with straight disrespect. You going with straight disrespect. Oh my goodness! Listen, I never have crazy. Oh, shout out to Sandor Martin making the walk. His hairline leads me to believe that he's probably gonna get stopped. He's precious. Listen, that's all we can hope for in life. I'm not even gonna joke around. If you could have a woman that can just be with you through brain damage and CTE and diapers, then that's all we can hope for. You want that cold ass chick that curb you at the first sign of turbulence. That's not a good look. You got to have a real one in there with you. I'm done. You know how I know ESPN doesn't care about Sandor Martin? They didn't even show his whole walkout. He walked out for 14 seconds and was immediately in the ring. Shout out to the production team, the edit team. I don't know if it indicates power levels, but I'm feeling insecure about it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. We all need help. Hey, shout out to Teofimo Sr. I have no respect for this man. There was an article that came out today talking about, oh, my son doesn't want to fight a guy like Devin Haney who's undisputed. I know 140, 135, difference in weight classes, but what's this boombox about, though? Listen, look, we got like 6 people in here. That's fine. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, if you are a father, don't be Teofimo Sr. Shout out to him, active father's life in his kid's life. I have a son, right? So my son is smart, capable, very well spoken. He does his thing. As he ascends the ladder to greatness, I'll be there with him to guide his hand, but I don't really need to be in the spotlight. I think these kind of scenarios are like a Kenny Porter, Sean Porter scenario. It makes it hard for the individual operating in the space of success actively to have and experience these things on their own, because they always have to worry about what their weird ass dad is doing. And I just think that shit is not it. And I'm not shitting on dads, because we need more dads in these motherfuckers' lives. But what I am saying is, play your position. If you a coach or a trainer or developer, great, do that and be that. But when the accolades start to come to the individual that's actively participating in that realm, take a back seat. And then you guys can celebrate when you get home. But the weirdo stuff, I think, gets in the way of developing young quality talent. I like the Bill Haney, Devin Haney joint is good, but I think when it's outside the fight realm, Bill Haney has a lot to say. But what I respect is when it goes into camp mode, we're developing our fighter, we're growing our fighter, we're developing a game plan, we're getting ready for the next opposition. He does take more of a back seat because I feel like that's what's appropriate. Shout out to all these cats. I'm not hating on no dads as a dad myself, but understand that your time is come and gone. Play the position, support your love, your seed, watch them grow, push them towards something that's great, but don't try to, eat off that. Sandor Martin in the corner looks like he's about to get knocked out in 2 rounds. That's just FYI about me. And that's right. Bill Haney is very calculated, so I appreciate that. I'm just happy that both fighters in the ring. On the real, I was feeling better about this fight, the Sandor Martin Teofimo Lopez fight, before I'm seeing what I'm seeing right now. And hopefully I'm proven wrong. But Sandor Martin is starting to look like an opponent. He's starting to look like a dude that just gonna get a check in the back and get knocked out badly. I don't like feeling that way. He said the takeover. He got some praying hands. It's like the whole globe on the back of the back part of his robe there. I think the next time I do a live stream for a fight, I'm not coming into like the 8th round. I'm coming in hella late. But by and large, this is my fault because I've been so inconsistent on this damn platform. But we're gonna be all right. We gotta now. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, but I'm gonna probably get demonetized. So Sandor Martin, 40-2. He has a loss early in his career in 42 fights. His most recent loss was against Anthony Yigit, notable opponent of Rolando Rolly Romero. That was a compelling fight until it wasn't. That being Anthony Yigit, not Sandor Martin. But then he has a key and the notable victory over a beaten down, and I don't say completely washed up, Mikey Garcia. But he got his beard cleaned up. He got his mustache looking right. Hairline is definitely questionable, but I'm not hating on him. Shout out to the questionable hairlines out there. Yeah. But the thing about the Yigit fight, if you look at the beginning of that fight, Yigit was feeling good because he was landing shots. But one thing Rolly doesn't get a lot of credit for is being durable because he gets hit hard and often, and he's completely unfazed, which also makes the Tank victory so much more impressive because he cleaned him up with pretty much one shot. But I could post a video like 8 minutes long of Rolly Romero getting cracked and not being phased at all whatsoever. And I think that's part of the allure with a Rolly Romero because these guys that he fights that are not Tank Davis, you land a big shot on a guy. If you've ever fought and you hit a guy with a good shot, you know it was a good shot. You hit Rolly with a good shot, you feel like, all right, cool, I can get something done against him. And next thing you know, you knocked out or you stumbling around the ring and he's brutalizing you or throwing you around. Rolly Romero is extremely durable fighter, tremendous chin, and he's been cracked with big shots and he's been unfazed. Yigit, and there's another guy, I think his name was Morrow or some shit, that he fought after him, hit him with good shots. The dude that hit him, after the black dude that fought Rolly after Yigit, hit him with some stuff, and he was like, I got you. Like, he was feeling good, and then he got knocked out too. Shout out to Rolly. Gee, what do you mean by that? I hope Javante Davis didn't crack that shit, though. Oh, you mean like his chin strap, his ability to take damage? No, I think Rolly Romero is young enough and crazy enough that he can go in there and still do his thing. I really do. If you fight Tank Davis, you just might get knocked out. And so if that happens, then that happens. But I think Rolly is young and he's big for 35. He probably walks out around. Gee, if you see him, he probably walks around at a buck 80. He's a big ass dude. cutting to 35 and getting on the scale and looking comfortable. He's a big dude. King Carter, you made it in. I was just talking about you, G. Shout out to you. I was just saying, I'm concerned for Sandor Martin now that I've seen him in the ring. Before I felt like compelling. Let's get into it. I'm gonna call the fight. Teofimo aggressive right away with a jab. A response by Martin. He steps in with the left hook. So you see, you got a lefty versus a righty. So you see the lead foot positioning is going to be crucial for whoever establishes that best. Teofimo does look very fast. He's not landing anything significant, but he looks good. He looks healthy. He looks fast. Martin has good speed, goes to the body there, doesn't get anything crazy off. Teofimo, he looks good. I don't think Sandor Martin looks intimidated, but Teofimo right now is dictating where the action takes place inside the ring. Good counter right hand by Teofimo Lopez to the body. Let's see how this plays out. It's slow. It's a feeling out process right now. I like the composure of Sandor Martin. Even Tio selling now. So you had the initial like 10 seconds, they was throwing heat. So now we're boxing. Now we're trying to establish range. Now we're trying to figure out what it is. Teofimo's speed is apparent, in my opinion. Sandor Martin starting from a little too far outside, responding to what Teofimo does. Now, Martin needs to be on his game because if he starts reaching for shots by Teofimo, Teofimo can feint and counter him up top. See, you already see the deception right there. See, I'm ahead of the game a little bit. You see the deception right there. That's a good tank jab from Martin, keeping him honest. The shorts for Teofimo look sick, by the way. I'm just gonna put that out there. The speed, and he hasn't felt it. Oh, good right hand by Teo, I believe. Yeah, he's the lefty in this fight. His lead hand work looks great. Sandor is still moving really well. Yeah. Teo looks very fast. Shout out to King Card. He looks very fast, very relaxed. Now, this is a better opponent from his last opponent at 140 pounds, but Teo is acclimating to the weight. That's what I'm seeing. Oh, head clash of headbutt. This is common against lefty versus righty. Referee says, all right, you guys are good. Let's step in. Sandor Martin's moving back a lot more than he was initially. I don't know if it's the headbutt or if he got hit with something, but he's definitely more cautious and fading back where he was more standing his ground initially. I'm not going to underrate this victory for Teofimo Lopez if he gets it done impressively. I think I respect Sandor Martin. If Teofimo just kind of blows through him, it's time to have different conversations about him at 140 pounds. Good counter right hand, or excuse me, counter left hand by Martin. That's a Teofimo round for sure. Um, Teofimo's weird. They showing this little weirdo shit. This is weird. But that's Ken Carter. Shout out to you, but that's just not a good game plan. That's a good way to get knocked out pretty quick against a guy who can punch, who's dynamic, has variety in his strikes, and Teofimo Lopez, lacking defensively a little bit, but he's a guy who knows how to finish and he's explosive. If you want to be on the ropes, then you shouldn't be in this game fighting dudes like Teofimo Lopez. You just gonna get knocked out. The one thing I am excited about though is this: if Teofimo gets this done, we can just talk about other shit. The jab is so bad. It has to come off the shoulder. You can limit the spacing that you close with the lead hand if you have a decent reach. He's in range. He doesn't have to throw it like that. Is that a knockdown? Whoa! Hold on, let me back away from the mic. Was that a left hook or right hook? Excuse me. Oh, Oh, what? It was a right hook. It was short. This is it though. Here's why I'm not tripping. Teofimo's been at 35. This is 40 now. Even Sandor, even if he beats Sandor and knocks him out, right? These are bigger dudes. Like the shit is different here at 140 pounds. Now, I want everyone listening to the sound of my voice. There's like 8 people in here. Think about a Teofimo Lopez against a Regis Prograis and what that looks like. I'm gonna just put that out there. Y'all can chew on that. Let me go back to the fight because I'm tripping. Teofimo being more cautious, Sandor still being super crazy or super cautious. He's going to win this round because of the knockdown. But if Teofimo Lopez just does this game plan for the most part, he's going to win this fight wide. Sandor Martin has to take more risks, do more. Good left hand by Teofimo, right hand, closes the distance. He shouldn't have done that. I would take a half step back, angle outside foot first to the left, and threw another right hand. Because Sandor Martin is still so very cautious. And he's not super disciplined with his hands either. Teofimo is definitely more than recovered. So, yeah, he got dropped, but if the round continues to go this way, he's going to lose a round. Jab to the body by Sandor Martin. Good combination punching by Teofimo Lopez. What's evident is that Teofimo is just more talented. Sandor Martin is just doing things right like 80% of the time. Teofimo's patience combined with his talent, skill, and ability will carry the day. He should win this fight. But if Sandor Martin's going to continue to just be right in every crucial moment, then he has a real opportunity. His back against the ropes right there. He did a good job defending well, tying up, minimizing damage by Teofimo Lopez. Why is this 10 rounds? It's not a title fight or a title eliminator. And what's his name? Teofimo's pop said he's not even interested in fights or title fights at this point. Great defense by Sandor Martin. Now, Sandor Martin, he had a great defensive sequence right there. He was smiling and feeling himself. This is the kind of fight where he'll get knocked out in the next round trying to be cute. The thing that bothers me the most about Teofimo Lopez is he operates from an emotional perspective much too much in a game that requires you to be hyper focused on what you're doing, aware of yourself, and game planning for your opposition's next move. If you're operating from a space that's emotional in nature, you're probably going to get bodied. So shout out to him. Like Cambosa's carved him up like fucking turkey. Damn, another. YouTube, I'm sorry, okay? Mom, I'm sorry. Yeah, but that's the thing. Shout out to my man DH. If they know that, then you have to know that as well. And then get your shit together. You got to get it together. You gonna play the same trick on me at some point in time. I gotta get it figured out. They got the replay playing for the knockdown. He just caught him on the temple. Check hook. Yeah, it was a good knockdown. He recovered nicely, but it was real. I don't know either. I'm not gonna pretend to know either. Teofimo being way more aggressive. Oh, you know what? I need to turn this audio down. I'm tripping. ESPN gonna come from my neck. That's the same check shot right there by Sandor Martin. Teofimo's trying to figure it out. He looks a little bewildered on trying to figure out how to get offense off. Obviously, Sandor Martin is better than the dude's name I can't even remember that Teofimo stopped inside of 10 rounds, which is late for a guy that, is relatively unheralded. Sandor Martin is way more experienced, is better, has faced better opposition. Moving up in weight is not easy. I think one of the best again, with the left hand of Sandor Martin caught Teofimo where his neck was looking crazy. So he's being very efficient. He's dictating range, even though Teofimo is applying passive pressure. Sandor Martin is dictating what the range is, what the fight's going to be fought at. Now he feels like that counter right hand is available to him at all times. And if Teofimo is not going to cut angles, he's not going to feint, set traps, or do anything. What Teofimo needs to do right now is stop pressuring Sandor Martin. Stay in range and stop moving forward. Make Sandor Martin commit to something. Utilize your superior speed and counterpunching to get something of your own. Because right now, you just pressuring him. He's doing a good job of moving, staying on his bike, and countering you if you're Teofimo Lopez. He's got to adjust, or if the fight stays like this the whole time, he's going to lose. He's got to stop pressuring Sandor Martin. This is really how you beat Bud Crawford, too. If you just be patient, let Bud Crawford try to create offense, you can beat him. If you're going to pressure a guy like Bud Crawford and come forward a bunch and try to knock him out, you're going to get fucked up. But right now, what you're seeing with Teofimo Lopez, trying to get something, good off-rhythm fighting by Sandor Martin. That was tremendous. And he's winning this round. So you have round 1 to Teofimo Lopez, round 2 to Sandor Martin. Right now, you have less than 10 seconds left in this round. This is a Sandor. There you go. This is a Sandor Martin round. Teofimo has to make an adjustment or he's just out of here. And I know as these young guys grow and get older and their bodies change, you kind of go up in weight. I'm not questioning anyone's nutrition or their ability to make decisions for their career, but 140 might not be it for Teofimo Lopez. And I'm glad cats are being critical of it, but I'm glad he's taking the slow route. I'm about to be nosy though and see what's up with this Crawford card that I'm not going to buy. All right, we back to action. Lopez really being ineffective with his lead hand. This swiping thing, that's not a thing. I take a half step back and you've now exposed yourself. Don't like Sandor Martin letting his back get to the ropes. Good escape, good high hand on the offside. Good jab to the body. Just kind of controlling range, being effective with his shots, being extremely economical, being very efficient. Teofimo showing different looks. He closed distance beautifully right there. But the thing of it is, if you're Teofimo, you close the distance, you land a shot to the body, then you tie up. That's not winning boxing from this perspective. Now, you might get the nod because Sandor Martin is not completely... Ooh, good counter right hand by Teofimo. Yeah, they had to switch camera angles. There was some shit on the camera right there. He said live from Best Western in Omaha. Tickets are still on Groupon, you guys, if you want to go and you can get the late hookup. Sandor Martin has a good jab. If he goes to that more, he's going to have a high level of success because Teofimo has pretty much abandoned the ability to use the lead hand. He wants to get to his power side almost exclusively. Now, that's a good jab by Lopez. He needs to do that more. That swiping, chopping shit is not it. Sandor Martin, good footwork, good defense. Not doing enough offensively, in my opinion, to beat a guy like Teofimo, who ESPN has a lot invested in. Bud Light, you see the Bud Light. He's sponsored by Bud Light. That's good body work. And he's not winning this round. I have him losing this round. But I know if good jab by Sandor Martin. Yo, he's kind of getting his ass beat. If they try to rob Sandor Martin, which they probably will do, or if he doesn't get a stoppage, Right now, he's getting outboxed by Sandor Martin. And he's huffing and puffing a lot. 1-2 to the body. Another 2 closes the distance. He ties up again. Does some shady shit. Shout out to Sandor Martin for the get back. Mikey wasn't as fast as Teal, though. So it's kind of a different dynamic. My fear is that the little flashy moments that Teofimo Lopez has, they'll value those things so much over just being effective, calm, and quiet and landing good shots that the Sandor has been landing. I give that round. So what is it? We going to the 4th round? So I have 2 rounds to 1 for Sandor with a knockdown. So you're going to call that a 10-8. I'm still trying to be nosy and figure out what the deal is with this damn card. What is all this nonsense? I probably need to go to Twitter and just call it good. Yo, what if Crawford just got beat up? I'll probably laugh. We back. Teofimo being way more aggressive. This is the 5th round of 10. Sandor, he definitely has to pick his pace up. That's cool. He's boxing cute, living on the outside, doing his thing. But he got to pick his pace up. Teofimo's being largely ineffective, but I think they'll favor just the flashiness of the speed, his comfort level. Total punches landed at 33-26 in favor of Lopez. So just from that perspective, he's got to do more. I think Sandor's been the more effective fighter, but they building this to get Teofimo a nice little decision victory. And Sandor is about to let that happen by boxing like a hoe cake. This is like watching like round 2 on repeat, just over and over and over. This fight is actually fucking boring. Shout out to ESPN though. Sandor showing too much respect. Teofimo being hesitant. Teofimo's not beating anybody elite at 140 pounds. That's not happening. In case anyone here was wondering. He just got countered again, leaping in with that shitty lead hand. Got countered again. Defense average, his offense, his ability to initiate offense without his opponent overreaching or overstepping seems to be slightly limited. He's stalking, but he's doing such a poor job of landing anything effective. So 8 minutes ago, they got it 10-9 for Crawford. The fact that I got out of the first round is disappointing. Shout out to Crawford, though. 20 seconds left in the 5th of 10 rounds. Teofimo pressuring. A good 1-1-2 goes to the body. Sandor Martin's inability to be more active is pretty much going to cost him this fight. Despite the knockdown, despite landing good shots, he's been moving back the entire fight, playing the range game. Teofimo's activity, volume output, despite his inefficiencies, will likely get him the victory. I just saw on what was this that I just looked at? What the hell was that? Now the zone might be hating, so forgive me if you will. I'll read this as fast as I can. Crawford comes out, and the right hand stands. Bud being one of the best switch hitters in boxing, his stance is always of interest. Just as Crawford is peppering Avenesian with a jab, Avenesian grabs his attention with a lunging overhand right. Moments later, Crawford responds with a stinging left-right hook. Combination 10-9 round for Crawford. I actually feel sick talking about this fight. Why? On the real, it'll be Monday before we know the real numbers, but I'm definitely curious. Sandor Martin's looking a little carved up. His nose is looking crazy. Steps to center ring, far more aggressive. Starts off with like a 1-1-2, a sweeping 2. He's the fight of the century. Fight for pay-per-view buys that he won't be getting. I know that. Shout out to BOK Prime. See, this is how you know this weight class for Teofimo Lopez is going to be a problem. He's just lunging in forward, crazy. No technique, no precision, no trap set. And this is Sandor Martin. So think about the bet. Now, I was going to say something about Josh Taylor, but I don't know if I want to talk about Josh Taylor like that. I just keep going back to a fight that is likely, or excuse me, would be easy to make at 140 pounds. Devin Haney, Teo's pops already said, oh, we don't want the Devin fight, blah, blah, blah. I know why you don't want the Devin fight, because you want to take an L. But what if Teofimo fought a dude like Regis Prograis? He'll get bodied. He'll really get carved up. And that you're exactly right. He just thinks that, oh, well, we just going to go in the gym and do fancy jump rope routines and just do whatever we want in the ring. You have to continue to develop, especially if you're going to climb the ladder, be a multi-weight champion, multi-weight combatant. You have to get better. Haney, Shakur, There's a multi Regis. I don't know if I believe in the UK guys like Catterall and Taylor. Taylor gets punched in the head so much that might be a good fight. Ooh, good right hand by Kambosos. But I've never seen a fighter as good as Kambosos do this thing where he's just trying to chop down on the lead hand of a Sandor. That's not a jab. He's just chopping that shit. Very bizarre. I think, I don't know if you saw it, but Regis Prograis had an interview that he did where he said he had a lot of love and respect for Teofimo Lopez, but believes fully if he fought him, he would hospitalize him. And he was very respectful when he presented this information. I tend to agree with him fully. Now, this is the end of round 6 approaching, which is 3 rounds remaining. Sandor Martin's going to lose the decision. It is what it is. So as we continue to watch this fight, unless something crazy happens, let's have a conversation about this. No, let me see this back of the head shot. Yup. He punched him in his fade. That's crazy. Sandor Martin punched Teofimo in his fade because his hairline is going bad. Sandor was hating on Teo because he still got a good hairline. That's messed up. Yo, Teofimo looks bad. I don't give a shit what happens. He just looks bad. He don't look good in this fight. The crowd looks light too. DAZN has 3 rounds for Crawford. I can't wait to see the highlights of this damn fight. They got Teofimo on the highlights getting cracked. But like I said, Sandor Martin looking very, very efficient. But the activity of Teofimo Lopez, they're like, yeah, he won unanimous, blah, blah, blah. The numbers won't support that. But this is what happens when you don't show up and take somebody out that you're supposed to, lose to. You really have to take a dude out. No one trusts DAZN. DAZN's trash. Oh, bad left hook? They're probably way more honest. When we get this break, I'll probably wait till like a minute left in this round. Then I'll skirt over there real quick. Ooh, good counter. Is that another knockdown? Oh, they calling that a slip? Nah, that was a knockdown. I'm hating. I'm hating on Teofimo now. He coming in crazy. He throwing from way too far outside. Let's look at the replay. They got the replay up. He got countered again. It's a knockdown. Yo, that was a knockdown. They called it a slip, but he just got countered. Same shot. Sandor Martin gonna get 2 knockdowns and still lose the fight. He said Teo's cheeks. Yeah, he's not beating anybody elite. Shout out to Teofimo Lopez. I'm gonna get that shirt made. Shout out to this is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Teofimo is most definitely cheeks. T-shirts are on the way. He is ass. It is official. Shout out to my man DH. That is the whole broadcast for my first merch campaign. Teo is cheeks. I'm done. Official on the back. He's not winning this fight. They're gonna give him the victory. I want to be wrong, but he's not winning this fight. Sandor Martin is boxing him beautifully. He's having moments here and there, but he's getting carved up. If he drops his dad got to get a real job. Good 1-2 by Sandor. Good counter shot again by Sandor. Ooh, beautiful counter shot by Sandor. Teofimo's not winning this fight. And when ESPN writes an article in the morning, they'll say dominant victory by Teofimo Lopez. He's ready for the best at 140, blah, blah, blah. And that'll be a fucking lie. It'll just be a lie. I'm not interested in these lies. Because you got to think about it. You see how well Sandor Martin's boxing? Think about a Devin or a Shakur. Even though Devin Haney's defense makes me very, very nervous, but he's stupid fast. He has tremendous hand speed, and he moves really well. He has good footwork. His upper body movement is not there. He leans over too much a little bit, and you can catch him slipping. But this is Sandor Martin. This is not undisputed champion of the world, Devin Haney. Martin the Tree Killer. Gee, this is on ESPN. Of course they're going to rob Sandor Martin. They about to rob this dude. Like, set it off, Queen Latifah. Day after day. When she had the cigarette on her lip. That's what they're about to do. I'm telling you. Bob Arum's you might be right about that. Bob Arum's laughing. Exactly. Bob Arum's laughing in the back because they did that bullshit. I'm going to Triller. This is the takeover with Triller. You might be onto something. I forgot all about that. You thought it was sweet? You thought you was doing what you want to do? Yeah, Sandor Martin's the man. I forgot about that. Now, what's Triller doing now? Triller's the first to be OK Prime. And DAZN was the first Triller. At least DAZN had a Russian dude with hella money that supported billions of dollars. That was a knockdown. They didn't even call it a knockdown. That's crazy. Good jab by Sandor Martin. We're not getting anything done productive here. Like I said, Sandor Martin, far more efficient, far more economical, just placing his shot well. They call, one of the scoring criteria effective aggression. Teofimo following him around and getting punched in the face repeatedly is not what I would describe as effective aggression. Shout out to Ryan Garcia. They put his little Twitter up saying Teo's having a hard time. Yeah, he's losing. The only thing he has going from him is that right hand of the body is actually pretty effective, but it's not deterring Sandor from doing anything any different. And Teal's just getting countered a lot. Teal starting from a little too far outside. Counter jab by Sandor Martin. Nothing landed at this point. Interesting round 8 of 10. Both combatants are kind of, because I can't hear what the call is saying or the broadcast team, I feel like both corners are saying, hey, you're winning this fight. Just keep doing what you're doing. Where I would ask for more from, both opposition. I would ask for more from Martin. Hey, you're winning. You got a knockdown. You got another knockdown that they missed. You got to step on the gas a little bit more. It's risky, but you got to do it. Teofimo's corner's probably telling him, yeah, you landed more punches in round 4 or some shit, so you're winning the fight. But he's missing a lot. He's starting from way too far outside. He's easily countered. This is an uphill battle right now for Teofimo Lopez. He just got countered again brutally, starting from outside, going to that right hand of the body. He can't figure out a way outside of good double jab by Teofimo, doesn't follow it up. Good inside, then back retreat by Martin. So they're boxing now, and right now, the game of boxing is being won by Sandor Martin. Teofimo has to be fast like he looked initially. He has to be athletic. He has to be dynamic in his approach, show angles, pick that lead foot up, put it on the outside, cut an angle, flip the hips, and really cause problems for Sandor. But Sandor's hairline and his bad fade and the ball spot in the back is causing problems for Teofimo Lopez. It's not good. Gee, I don't even have time to do a video like that for tonight. And because this fight is going the way that it's going in, hey, DH, should we have just went ahead and spend that little shitty money, the $40, to see Crawford struggle with Avanesian? I feel like this is a setup, though. Hey, shout out to Vegeta, no disrespect. Were they there in round? Let me refresh this, G. I should be on Bad Love Hook, too. I'm still reading this DAZN nonsense. So DAZN, who tends to be a little bit shoddy, they have no rounds going to Avanesian. Let me tell you, now I'm getting my conspiracy theory bag, G. I'm in my conspiracy theory bag. Crawford has to carry Avanesian late so they can say, see, we told you Avanesian was really, really tough. And look what he was able to do. Crawford should have taken this fight. Think about a fucking guy like Duran Ennis, Errol Spence, and Montes Stanionis, Virgil, any of these, not even those guys. David Avanesian put him against those dudes. Imagine David Avanesian against Duran Ennis. The fight doesn't make it out of the first round. Any amount of money that someone will want to bet on that, I'll put it up. That's just facts. And now we're talking about going to 6th and 7th round with this dude. That's why I think that shit's a setup. Gee, who is Sparkle Lee? Oh, do I have to Google it? Teal's getting way more aggressive, but I have to figure out who Sparkle Lee is. Teofimo has a massive weakness. His lead hand is terrible. If you have any kind of physical advantage over Teofimo Lopez, you can beat him because his lead hand action is weak as shit. It lacks variety. He abandons the jab, and he tries to get fancy just so he can get to his power. You heard it here first. This is your boy, JG. Now he's playing games. This dude should just throw in the towel. Shout out to Sandor Martin. Gee, I did a video yesterday. It was 15 minutes long, and I didn't even realize my audio wasn't working. And I just deleted that shit and went to bed. But it was talking about this fight. Same by Teofimo Lopez, jabbing to the body, stalking, not being able to really initiate any real offense. The level of comfort of Sandor Martin for me concerns me because if Teofimo has a couple good rounds, it pretty much solidifies the fight for him. We are a minute 8, minute 7 left in round 9 of 10. And this fight has lacked action. The biggest shots of the fight have been landed by Sandor Martin, including a knockdown in the second. I think the judges will favor the activity of Teofimo Lopez. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, because I think Sandor Martin's winning this fight close, but he, in my mind, has done more than Teofimo, had more significant shots. He's just been a more efficient fighter. And Teofimo, to DH's point, has not really learned from that Kambosos loss. Another counter hook by Sandor. Great defense, footwork. He's in tremendous shape. He came out looking crazy. I thought he was going to get bodied, but he definitely proved me wrong. He's boxing really well. I want to see his front foot be a little more disciplined, but he looks good. And the counter shot is there. Teofimo is just chasing him around, starting from too far outside and getting nothing from it. This is crazy. This shit is crazy. Let me refresh this joint. His dad out here giving bad advice. Tio, even when you got knocked down in the second, you won that round, son. Yeah, his dad's out here giving bad fucking guidance. Now my computer don't want to refresh. They know I need these live updates for Avedis and Crawford. Shout out to Cyborg. She got her unanimous decision. She did her thing. Tenth and final round coming up. Sandor Martin, Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez has had a lot of activity, but not a lot of success. Sandor Martin has been highly effective with his ability to counterpunch and land that lead hook. The land percentage is much higher for Sandor. That right hand of the body by Teofimo Lopez has been his most successful shot of the evening. By and large, Teofimo Lopez has chased Sandor Martin around the ring while not really having the ability to land anything of significance, hurt Sandor, deter him, or make him change his game plan. I do not know how ESPN sees it. I do have Sandor Martin up, possibly by 2 rounds. Teofimo is just, he's cool with going to the body. He's using more of his athleticism and explosiveness now, but the ship may have sailed. I am of the opinion, because of the activity of Teofimo Lopez, they will give him a decision. But Sandor Martin, in my opinion, and the numbers will support this, was far more efficient, did score a knockdown, landed the heavier, more significant shots. Nice jab by Sandor Martin. I'm making the case for Sandor Martin getting a decision victory, even if split over Teofimo Lopez. Lopez looked great for the first minute and a half of the first round, and then Sandor Martin just kind of established range, got comfortable, knocked him down the second, and here we are with a minute 27 left in the 10th. Sandor Martin still looking good footwork, good upper body movement. I want to see him get more offense off. I think he feels comfortable. I think he feels like he won the fight. This is Teofimo Lopez. There's a lot of money, a lot of marketing put into him. You're fighting on the ESPN card. He's the main event. You have to look spectacular. I think he's done enough to win, but have you done enough to earn a victory? I think that's a crazy-ass statement to make. You have done enough to win, but have you done enough to earn a victory? Shout out to my man Walter, and that's facts. Bud KO in the 6 is over. That's what went down. Yeah, and yes, Sandor Martin should have 2 knockdowns. What doing a warning? Oh, gee, if they took a point, I would end this stream right now and punch a hole in my computer. Because they trying to guarantee victories. I wouldn't throw another punch if I was Sandor Martin, nah. Because they trying to be cute. Teal's putting a lot of pressure on now. 5 seconds left. Sandor is feeling, ooh, a little showboat from Sandor Martin. Yo, we got to see what happens. So I'm gonna stay on because I want to see. I want. Oh, Sandor Martin is telling the crowd that he won this fight. Now here's what's crazy: you do all that screaming and hollering, and then they say you lost. I don't think he lost, but this is unpredictable. This is unpredictable. I just, but Paul, what I would also say, this works pretty well in MMA. If you act ridiculous after the fact, you might, if you look sad and uncertain, they'll just give the fight to somebody else. So you got to scream out and look crazy. Look at Teofimo. He doesn't look like a dude that won the fight. His dad's like, "Do I still get my check?" Like, I know I didn't win. I know we might not have won, but ooh, they're showing that Big Baby Anderson, the real Big Baby Anderson knockout. If you punch a dude, Deontay Wilder has one of the greatest quotes of all time. The human head is not meant to be hit. That's the realest shit that a person from Alabama has ever said. The human head is not meant to be hit. And you see my man Jerry or whatever his name was get punched by Anderson. Yeah, that's that CTE. That's that CTE shot. But here we are. This is it. We're at the end of the bout. For those of you who are just joining, drop something in the comment section. I want to know if individuals took the time to check out the Bud Crawford, David Avanesian fight. This was a good card on paper, and it turned out to be a good card. I think the main event, Sandor Martin, Teofimo Lopez, was a little underwhelming. I think Teofimo Lopez lost because he has the inability to make adjustments. And I don't think that he's going to have a high level of success in the 140-pound division. I think he got caught slipping by George Kambosos at 135 because he got the belts off Loma. But when you go up the ladder, these guys are all really, really good. 30, 35, 140, 147, highly competitive divisions. If you are not on your game, willing to grow, adjust, adapt, have a good team around you, and take the learning part of boxing serious, it's tough to get victories. Shout out to my man Hickson. Who do I have winning this fight? I have Sandor winning this fight, but I don't feel like he was busy enough to get the nod in the eyes of the judges. I'm very skeptical of ESPN and fighters that they invest highly in, so I can see them just giving it to Teofimo Lopez because it's Teofimo Lopez. But Sandor Martin was far more efficient. He had a knockdown. He landed all of the bigger shots, and he boxed really, really well. He should be getting this victory. I want to see if the judges and ESPN and the powers that be allow that to manifest. But I do have Sandor Martin winning the fight against Teofimo Lopez. Interested to see what the rest of the boxing world says tomorrow and Monday. I have Sandor Martin winning this fight, though. Yeah, it wasn't a good showing. And as soon as he got deterred by a couple of good shots and lead hands, he went away from his lead hand. He's a powerful puncher, and he has power in both his hands. The one thing that was, and DH will tell you, the one thing that was disturbing to me is you're just chopping at the opposition's lead hand because it's righty versus lefty. It's available to you right there. But I've never seen, especially in high-level boxing, an opposition go, I'm just going to chop this hand down. That means you're eliminating your ability to be effective with your own lead hand, whether it's a short jab, right? A tank jab, you're hiding behind that, a powerful jab, a jab from from the waist up, the up jab, a flick jab. All those things get taken away because you're so concerned about what you're getting back. Sandor Martin just continued to use the tools that he had available to him, and he was effective doing that. I don't think he was busy enough. I think that might hurt him on the scorecards, but he was more efficient and more effective as a fighter. I don't work for ESPN, so I don't give a shit like that. But a lot of money has been poured into Teofimo Lopez, his pops, the shit talking, the takeover, blah, blah, blah. Sandor Martin was a better fighter this evening. He outboxed Teofimo Lopez. The numbers will support that. He was more efficient, maybe landed a little less, but threw way less as well, and scored a knockdown in the fight. So that's how I see it. King Carter, did you see the Xander fight? Because I missed that joint. And I like Xander's eyes a lot. I think he's a tremendous fighter. And I'm gonna have to catch him on the back end. I thought if I got on here at 750, I would see all those joints, but Anderson was up at 750 and then he got it done in like 2 rounds. Damn. Okay, cool. This was a tough night for Top Rank then. Shout out to Bud Crawford. The stars weren't looking super awesome. Shout out to my man Parlay. They're going to the scorecards right now. I'll get it out real quick if you just got in here. I did not have Teofimo winning this fight, but I don't think Sandor Martin was busy enough to convince ESPN judges that he should get the victory. I'm going to turn this up a little bit, though, so I can hear the call. That's home cooking. That's bullshit. So there you go. If you're going to beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez where they have all that money invested in him, you got to go out there and do something crazy. I'm interested in seeing the numbers of that fight. I'm not shocked, so I don't have a hyper emotional response to that. But Sandor Martin won that fight, but you do have to be more convincing. You got to put more pressure on. He boxed. He got early success. Then he took his foot off the gas, and they really liked the pressure from Teofimo Lopez. And this is a business of boxing. We can't have Teofimo Lopez lose 2 of his last 3 fights, and we're putting all this money into this guy. Now he want to do a dumbass dance. I'm about to get off this damn this ESPN shit. Yeah, I'm good, G. You didn't even win that fight. That's the thing. So you go on these networks, you have to show out. Even think about it like this. Dimitri Bivol, Canelo Alvarez. They were still scoring out. Dimitri Bivol had to really just destroy Canelo. And Cat still had that fight close. Like, the backflip ain't even hit the same. Because he know he didn't win. And that's the thing. Just Teofimo's 1-1-2 to the body, just pressuring, following Sandor around. He didn't really need to be hyper effective because Sandor was really just trying to operate in the space of I'm, being more efficient. I'm landing the bigger shots. I got the knockdown, and I'm winning the fight. It's not enough to get it done on ESPN. It's just not. Shout out to ESPN. I'm not hating. I'm not talking shit, but we just saw a guy who lost a fight get a victory because of money, investment. Sandor Martin was screaming and hollering like he knew he won the fight at the end of the fight. You don't do that when you take an L. Teofimo went back to his corner and he was pops and like, whatever. And I don't know what they're talking about right here, but it's not going to be a rematch. You're not going to see Sandor Martin, Teofimo part 2. That shit is not happening. And Sandor Martin's telling him, you took that L. Let me turn this up real quick. I'm not listening to this nonsense. Anyway, did we get the confirmation that Crawford got it done? It's a wrap. Knockout of the year. I hate the zone. He said, yeah, he stopped amnesia in 6. Yeah, I was looking at the bootleg, the DAZN shit. They said knockout of the year. But I don't know. I'm going to come back tomorrow morning. We're going to chop it up about boxing. I'm going to be really honest. I definitely have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. about this fight. I mean, I pretty was spot on about what I was seeing and how I felt it would play out. I felt good about that, but you kind of just hope that you're wrong in some instances. And my hope was that they would see the fight how I saw it. That wasn't the case. The business side doesn't allow for that to happen. I want to see the numbers from the BLK Prime debut, Bud Crawford, David Avanesian fight. I know that shit went triple wood. I know that. I just want to have a conversation about it because I've been out of pocket, or not out of pocket, but I just been off for a little bit. Yeah, DAZN said it was KO of the year. I want to read this comment. Shout out to my man Hickson. As an amateur boxer, my coaches always told me the more convincing and the more punches you throw, it doesn't even matter if you land. You look more convincing and you will most likely pull off the win. And I have to agree with that. And that's not even just in the amateurs. If you think about guys like, really, if you know boxing, so Pernell Whitaker and Floyd Mayweather, right? Even though they weren't volume guys, they were so defensively savvy. All your volume, all this crazy, it didn't matter. They were carving you up. If it's going to be close from both perspectives, yeah, you're going to lose that fight, especially when there's business interests involved. Yeah, Sandor Martin was more efficient, landed the better shots, bigger shots, got a knockdown. But Teofimo was just throwing punches and looking flashy while not landing anything. He got the victory. He has a business side on his side as well. They're not going to mess up potential upcoming bouts because Sandor Martin showed up tonight and boxed well. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. But that's my time. You guys have been great. Shout out to my man Hickson. DH, you always come through. Ken Carter, I'm glad you finally made it in. I was talking about you a little bit earlier. Shout out to my man Parlay as well. I will close this year strong. That is the commitment I'm making to the individuals that continue to support my channel. We've grown a lot this year. I continue to want to do so. Let's keep doing our thing. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be a live stream or a video, but this night of boxing, I'm not leaving it excited. And I want to talk more about that. This is your boy, JG. This is the Punch Report. If you have not taken the time, please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get all the notifications. You guys have been amazing, and we out.